Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. If you are a dog lover, today's show is for you. So stick around. We are so excited to introduce today's guest. But first, I want to thank all of you for being here and our sponsors for being here. Of course, we love to listen, learn, and grow. That's what the show is all about, and learning about the wonderful, amazing people of West Texas. And we couldn't do it without our sponsors. So a huge thank you to Rig ID Workwear, Omni Midland Hotel, to Midland Cap Company, the new Laughlin Hotel, which will break ground this year, and also Midland Cap Company and joincapclub.com. Support local, support these local businesses if you can, or just support local wherever you are here in West Texas. We mentioned an amazing guest. I cannot wait to hear his story, and I know you will enjoy it too. Please welcome our guest today, Nash Traylor. He is the program coordinator for Grand Companions. He is also a husband, a dog lover, a pet sitting company owner, and a personal trainer. Nash, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. We want to start off with welcoming all our friends from Alpine, because you drove all the way in from Alpine today.
Yes. I should have done it last night, but decided to do it this morning, and it was nice getting here. Traffic was not too bad. And
good.
So we're here now.
Yeah, you never know what it's going to be like. And if you're just listening and you're not from our area, it is cold in West Texas right now.
Oh, yeah.
It is freezing. So we're glad you made it here safe and sound. Tell us about your journey to, not just to Alpine, but we're going to talk about your journey to Grand Companions.
Yeah, so initially I'm from Sonora, Texas.
Okay.
So
How far is that? I don't know where Sonora is.
Okay, so good. I was going to ask if I need to give a context. So it's about 2.5 hours southeast of here.
Okay.
Natural gas, wool and mohair are kind of where natural gas was the industry. Now it's mostly wool and mohair, and then the school district, and like how small towns are.
Right.
But then I decided to, or got the chance to play football and try to pursue theater at a school, McAllister College in Minnesota.
Oh, great.
And so went up there. College was a good experience, a great experience. Wasn't always the most fun one, especially being in a new environment, a
That's
totally
hard.
new place.
Yeah.
But I think I learned a lot from it.
What was the one thing you learned? Drop some wisdom on us
Yeah,
today.
I think...
Especially for those young kids that maybe go off to school, because it is different, right? To go somewhere you've never been.
Right. I think finding, the big part is keeping the foundation of who you are, but adding to who you are with new experiences.
Yes.
And so I think I was able to do that, but it's hard in the beginning because you're like, you know what, I'm going to throw everything I was before. I feel like I should be a different person. And there are parts of you that can change possibly or should, but the foundation is important, and just building off of who you are and not losing sight of that. I know that got pretty deep.
No, that's good. We like deep. We want to learn. We want to share the wisdom, like I said. You're right. You're exactly right. Because a lot of times you go there, you think, okay, I'm going to start a new world here, right?
Right.
But it's a big learning curve.
Yes, yeah. And I think I was able to kind of work through that. And by the end, I moved to Cincinnati.
Okay.
And did AmeriCorps, which is like the Peace Corps, except based here. And so it was the perfect launching. The environment in Cincinnati is a pretty conservative city. So very much like from where I came from. But AmeriCorps is more liberal and on the progressive end in its facet in trying to help society. And so it was a nice mix of my college and my foundation of where I came from. And so I really felt I got to come into my own there.
Oh, that's great.
And so the big thing was, coming out of that, I knew I wanted to, I got a mission statement out of it. And so I wanted to positively impact my community's social and economic fabric. And
that's a good mission statement, Nash.
Thanks. They really help you through that. It's not just something innate that came.
Yeah.
And so I needed to find what that community was. And I thought, you know what, I want to go back to West Texas and get back to the Trans-Pecos area possibly, and see if that's the community I need to help, or that needs that I am a part of and also needs to help me.
Yeah, needs your gifts.
And so I got a job at Fort Lancaster, a state historic site kind of west of Odessa, middle of nowhere, just I-10.
Heard of it.
Yes, Sheffield. So Fort Stockton, then like an hour happens, then there's Sheffield, and then there's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes Ozona.
Okay.
And so Fort Stockton or Fort Lancaster is somewhere in the midst of
Somewhere
nowhere.
out there where the tumbleweeds and the pump jacks are.
And so it was hard going from Minneapolis to Cincinnati. I'd lived on a ranch and with my parents growing up, but having had those other experiences, middle of nowhere was a little harder for me than I expected it to be. And so I decided, you know what, I'm still going to give this a try. I was looking at places in the Alpine and the Big Bend area and this position. And I mean, honestly, it was more just hooking up with Laura Langham, who's the executive director at Grand Companions. And we really connected because community is the most important thing to me. And I think she very much expressed how she's realized she's here to help people, because while she cares about pets, the only way to help the pets at the end of the day is have people do it.
Right. Pets can't help pets.
Exactly.
Right. That's
so
a great point.
And so we also aren't, I mean, you find out in community advocacy very early on that you aren't Superman and you're not going to save the world. The people can do that and you can help facilitate that change, but you can't make it happen. And so Laura really embodied that we help people and they help change the world.
I love that. That's awesome. And I think, you know, a lot of people may, because I know I don't realize the need there is for the advocacy of pets. So let's talk about that. So you met Laura, you connected. She already had this going. Is that correct? Okay, so Grand Companions was already going. Tell us about the need for Grand Companions and why it's so important. Because, like I said, if you're not in it, you don't know the numbers, right?
Right.
So why was it something that you said, yes, this is where I want to put my talents?
Yeah, because outside looking in, because I came from working at a food pantry, community garden, and being more direct service oriented, and I was worried I was jumping into something that was fluff.
Yeah.
Like, why am I here just helping pets when there are people that are in huge need? And at the same time, not to belittle that the pets are important, there are people that just want to focus on that.
Right.
But there are huge impacts, and I think the biggest thing, and Laura says this all the time, is that we created this problem. These pets can't save themselves. We have to, and it is our burden, because it is our burden that we've made happen.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
And then the other big part of it is it does kind of bleed into both economics and the social fabric. And you have families that find a stray pet, want to do what's best, but they do not have space. They have their children in priorities, and their money is tight, and they have their own pets, and there is no space. And not to have a true outlet and support for them finding a good resolution, then how does that leave those children?
Right.
And then they've dropped this dog off at a shelter, or maybe in the middle of nowhere, because the shelter wouldn't be able to take it. And what are we teaching our children in those situations?
Right.
And so there's the social fabric of that nature, and then the economic one of the tax paying. Disease becomes rampant if you don't have a controlled population, and the stray population gets out of control, along with overextending the animal control and the money that's had to be poured into there. And then we talked about the roadside or road safety.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge part of this when you have $1 million trucks on the road and with really flammable or toxic what they're carrying.
Right.
And,
right. And animals running
all over
yeah,
the place.
Yeah.
And we've got to I don't know, it hits a lot of different things. And then, like I said, it does come back to this is something we've put upon these pets. They could have been left in the wild and been able to survive on their own, but these can't anymore because of what we've created, which isn't bad, but we have to take ownership of that.
So what does Grand Companions do at that point? Do you have a shelter? Is it a 24-hour number? Tell me what that looks like, so how people can then utilize your services when they see a stray dog on the road.
Yeah. So our mission is to help people save, honor, and connect with pets. Okay. And so how we do that is we do help people that are, shelters, strays, and owner surrenders. So there are a lot of city shelters, other rescues we are there to support. We do bring them into a bricks and mortar.
Okay.
So we have our main site in Fort Davis, and then our satellite site in Midland.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll have anywhere on hand between 80 and 120 pets.
Wow. That's a lot. I mean, if you think about it, that is a lot.
It adds up, but the big thing for us is how many we can have over time.
Right.
And the more efficient we are, and the faster we can get them into homes, get them into whether it's medically or just their social interactions for a pet, get to a stable and solid place. The more we get out, the more we can save. And so it's not so much about how many we have at one time, but how many we can save over a year.
Right.
And so our big thing is the details and efficiency of how we bring pets in, how we honor them once they're in-house, and then how we are connecting with people to truly save them, because they're the saviors when they are adopting.
So connecting them with the families.
Exactly.
Do you give them medical care first and then find them their home?
Yes. So if a pet gets brought in, they go through a pretty intensive medical process, updated on shots, microchip, tested for a bunch of things, treated for parasites, treated for worms. List goes on. Everything's spayed and neutered, because we do want to make that easy on the adopter. They don't have to worry about it anymore, but also on society, we've nipped it in the bud, it's done, and you can just enjoy your pet from this point on. And then connecting with people, I mean, we have our classic going on Adopt a Pet or Pet Finder, Facebook and social media. But the other big program, which has really started to catch on, is called our Connection Program, so our See Once. And so people can order. And our thing is, you don't have to be super into rescue to help save a pet. And you can have other passions, or your family is important. You just need a pet that fits them.
Right.
And so if somebody...
So you can say like, oh, I have a 3-year-old child and we're looking for this type of pet.
Exactly.
You will connect the family.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So if they need a pet that is super plug and play, they have 3 kids, their schedule between basketball and football and soccer is all over the place. The pet just needs to be there.
Right.
And not something that needs a ton of attention, but something good around a lot of stimulation.
Right.
And so we can help
So maybe
them.
not a puppy for that family.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But people can be as specific as they want aesthetically. If they want a female poodle that is good with their other cats, we can find those things, because there are all of those things out there, and might as well find niches and make it easy to adopt and enjoyable. Because we should have what we want. It's a 15-year commitment. Why not get what you're looking for?
Right.
Don't get me wrong, the personality and lifestyle is usually the most important thing, because people don't realize until they're at home like how important their lifestyle is, and they want the pet to fit that. But the aesthetics is fine too. Like you can have something that is pretty to you if that's what you're wanting.
Is there a cost? Is there adoption fee? And also you mentioned, so I have 2 questions.
Yes.
The first one, is there adoption fee? But second, you said there, you over a course of a year, how many pets do you see? You said 80 to 120 at a time, but like how many are you rescuing through the year?
Yeah, so we'll have the same amount of come in that goes out. During COVID, we really hit an all-time high, like a lot did. I think we were at 1,200 or 1,300.
Wow.
And then we've kind of leveled off. I think part of it was just getting our systems to catch up to that, so that we're doing the quality of care for the pets, the quality of care for the adopters, and honoring to the people that have found these pets. And so we're around that 800 range at this point.
That shows the need. I mean, that shows, when you think of it, 800 pets are without a home.
Yes.
That shows you the need and how many are out walking around without a loved one to care for them.
Yes, and we're one of very many rescues in this area. And I know we work a lot with the Midland Animal Shelter, and then Odessa Humane Society, also the Odessa Animal Control. But there's a lot of it takes a village.
Yes.
Because I wish it was just us that could save everything. But there are a lot of really cool organizations. Fix West Texas is doing cool stuff here. And it takes all of us working together to make change happen. Now, each of us have our own niche. Ours is very different.
What makes yours different?
I think the process of Well, really, it's more about the details than it is anything else. The process of how we bring pets in, it's very specific. We have a space for every type of pet. Every pet deserves to be saved. So we have a pit bull space. We have a border collie space.
Oh,
we
that's
have
nice.
spaces for chihuahuas, sizes. But at the end of the day, I have to get a pit bull out to get a pit bull in because we're not, chihuahuas deserve to be saved too. We're not just going to fill ourselves with pit bulls. And so then our burden is how do we get more pit bulls out quicker?
Gotcha.
And so each breed has its difficulties. Pit bulls seem to have the toughest one.
Right.
With the
Why do you think pit bulls get a bad rap?
There's a preconception. They are intense. They can be intense personalities, but given the right direction, they're just like every other dog.
Right.
And
I think it's about the training, really.
Exactly. And so these stigmas start somewhere.
Yeah.
But this stigma has really hit home, and then it kind of blends in with anything that's a mix. Yeah. And I think we lose sight sometimes with mixes are sometimes the best of all of these personalities, or sometimes some of the bad, some of the good. Right. And so putting breed stigmas on a mix is hard. Yeah. And again, part of why we're here is to help educate. And
that's right. We are going to educate today. Love your pit bulls.
And for people to make the best choices for them in a way that that is educational. And we're not just jumping to something because that's what we've heard in the past.
I love that.
So
and
that answer your question?
Yes. And then on average, what does it cost? Say you found the right home. This pit bull or chihuahua is going to go into this home. What is the cost for that family?
Yeah, so we're putting usually, if a pet has come in with nothing and they don't need some extra surgery, a broken leg, it's running about $360, $380 for us to do the spay neuter, all those shots, the tests. Our adoption fees usually range about $150 to $350.
Okay, so not too bad. I mean,
no,
really, considering you're getting shots, you're getting them looked over, everything.
Exactly, and
neutered.
I joke sometimes, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of giving people, even at the most expensive, $10 to take this this pet because of the medical that's put into it.
Absolutely.
And if you have pets, and then once you do, you know how quick that vet bill can go up, even if the pet never gets really sick. Right. And then the other thing is, too, resources and finding vet appointments is hard here unless you already have a vet.
That is so hard. I'm glad you brought that up. What is being done to help that? Because I do find that question on Facebook a lot, or people are like, my vet just closed down. Where do we go now? So, how do we manage that? Or
they have an appointment, but it's 2 months away and they need their pet spayed or neutered. And it's not the vet's fault that we have here. There's an abundance of need and not an abundance of supply when it comes to supply of having vets and vet appointments.
Right.
And so the big thing is, and I mean, vetting school is very, very difficult. And I know that there are people that want to be in this area. I'm not sure of the problem of why. I know why rurally in Alpine, it's hard. Vets don't want to be down there. It's hard to get the same sort of population and people wanting to do vet work. Gotcha. But here in Midland, it is odd. I don't know why we don't have enough.
We need more vets. So if you're listening and you're in vet school, come move here.
Yes.
We need you. Because I really do see a need for that here.
Yeah, and Tech has a cool vet program now. And they're
do.
doing some really neat things and expanding that. And so hopefully it does catch back up to itself.
Right.
But it does. Having to really postpone, unless, again, you have a vet that's... And then, like you said, when they've retired and moved on, now you're stuck starting from ground zero.
Right. Well, I can tell you're passionate about these animals, and I understand because, no one else can help them if we're not the ones helping. If people aren't helping them, who's going to help them, right?
Yes.
So thank you for doing what you do. We're going to take a quick break. This is what we call quote of the day. I'm a big quote girl, Nash.
Okay.
I know we just met, but it's something about me. I love quotes.
Yeah.
They're everywhere in my house, and I believe in them. I want you to pick one out and tell me what it means to you.
Okay.
So just pick any quote. We're sitting here today in Midland, Texas with Nash Traylor. He is the program coordinator for Grand Companions, and we are talking all things dogs and animals and now quotes. So what do you have? You got the helpful card. Of course you did.
Yeah, we're talking about
helping.
Yeah. Branding is important. Develop success from failures. Discouraging and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Dale Carnegie.
Great quote. What does that quote mean to you?
I mean, growth only comes with challenge, and we see it every day. As tough as it is to live in the reality we live in, it is what it is. And I think that does become discouraging because we have this ideal that we want, but the only way to get there is to live through the now and suffer through some of the failures and the discouraging things that come up to get to that end result. And so, no, that one's powerful.
I know. That's perfect for it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love that. I love you pulled that one. Is there a quote that you live by that's kind of helped you in your journey?
So I saw that on your other podcast, and I was like,
Oh, so you did do some homework.
yeah. I like am more conceptual in like what the message is, and so I don't have any like specific. I can quote it verbatim, and it's gonna hit home. But there was, I went to a living history farm in Minnesota.
A living history farm.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
tell me what that is.
So, basically, like, they have engaging activities.
Okay.
They'll have, like, so it was a fort, and so, like, they'll have what their day-to-day was on the fort. They'll have people live actioning, talking you through what they're doing, if they're making yarn or making breakfast, things of that
Very
nature.
cool.
And so it's very engaging because you have somebody that's, quote-unquote, living it there.
Gotcha.
And
I've never heard of that.
That experience, yeah.
That's cool.
And so this guy, don't even remember which guy it was that was prospecting Minnesota at the time, but he took his family, was really trying to establish a town, got a town up and going, and it crashes. Then like loses a bunch of money, goes back to where he like lives, gets more investors, goes back out there, same sort of deal. Like everything he's about to do is on the cusp of breaking through, crashes. And then eventually, like, his whole family passes away. He's destitute, and he goes through the rest of his life feeling like he never made the impact he was looking at or looking for. And he was considered the forefather to the state of Minnesota. Wow. And so
And yet he felt like a failure.
Yet his whole life was a failure.
Yeah.
And I think that, and again, that's not really a quote, but that's so impactful to me, and I think does reflect on what we just talked about, of like even the failures, you may never see it as a success, and that's okay because it doesn't mean it doesn't have impact, and that's really powerful to me.
That is powerful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I learned about living history farms.
Yeah.
Had no idea that those existed. That is great. Let's talk a little bit about what people can do right now. So say I'm driving down the road. I find a dog. I know I can't care for this dog right now with my schedule or my family. What can I do to connect with Grand Companions and find them a forever home?
Yeah, so really good question. I think the biggest thing and way we approach it, it depends on where you're at. Okay. So if you're in Midland, my conversation's totally different than if you're in Kermit, Texas.
All right, let's give both then, because we got some listeners in Kermit. Hi. Hi to our friends in Kermit.
And so being in Midland, you do have animal control, which is awesome. You pay taxes for that. They're there to help keep rabies off the street and to protect the dog population.
So you want that to be your go-to first as Midland Animal Control?
I would say if you're able to find, the big thing is trying to find the pet's owners. And so it used to be you could just go to animal control. Everybody knew if their pet got lost, they could go there. Right. Now people don't go to animal control, and then
they go to Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. And then there are 1,000 different places and Facebook groups you can go. And are you ever going to hit the person who actually owns this pet? Right. And so it is good to call us because we can help navigate through trying to find the pet's owner. Okay. Now, animal control, if it is an emergency, they are there for those emergencies. Okay. We are a no-kill shelter, so our biggest thing is we want to stay full to help keep other shelters from having to euthanize, to keeping pets off the street, because a space open is a pet out there in need. Yeah. And so we can't do things in emergency, but we have a whole team and network, and we can decide, like, handling things in Odessa is different than handling things in Midland, or if you're in Alpine or Marfa.
Okay.
And so we do have the nuances of what access and resources you have. So it is great to call us. If it
Okay.
is an emergency, it is best to get it to animal control as quick as possible, because we have our limitations, and that's what they're there for.
Let's give Grand Companions number and socials and all the things.
Yes. So the number is 432-426-3724. You can check out our website at grandcompanions.org. And then our handles, I believe, are just Grand Companions at both Facebook and Instagram. And if you ever are looking for a pet, again, you can be as specific as you want with what your needs are. Female, 5 years old, you want a senior that's blind, like, we can find the pet that you're looking
Right,
for. We have a
right.
ton of partners. We do try to transfer quite a bit from shelters all throughout this region. So you are saving a pet in need, even if you are being specific about it. So don't feel guilty. It's awesome, and we're here to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. What is the number one question or myth that people have about what you do?
I think the biggest myth is that everybody wants and wishes that, like, they had a big ranch where they could just save all the pets.
Right.
And they could adopt 100.
Right.
Pets need their companion, and they need that real connection. And it's not bad to have 3 pets or 2 pets. And if we all work together, we don't need this huge ethereal ranch to save everything. It's just about doing a little bit and a little bit that you can, and
Yeah.
it does build together if we all do a little bit.
That's true. That's so little bit goes a long way. We're switching gears, Nash. You ready?
Yes.
You have a pet sitting company.
Yes.
This is a big need.
Yes.
Tell us how can someone, if they're looking to, because you're located in Alpine, so
Yep.
if we have any listeners in Alpine and they're going on summer vacation or spring break, they don't have a place to host their pet or someone to watch. How can they get, why is it important to get a pet sitter?
Yeah, so pet sitting, and our focus is usually pet sitting for the people in their own home, because they can be in their own environment.
Okay.
Pets are usually very odd going to something new, and you want
That's
to
true.
keep them as stable as possible. There are some really cool boarding facilities, and it is tougher to find, like with everything resource-wise out here. They're there and then they're not.
Right.
And so, but there are some really cool things that way. We are trying to do more pet sitting this direction.
Okay, great.
And because we do have, I'm up here all the time, and we have some really cool people here that want to help with that sort of thing. And
Awesome.
I've built a network of people that care about pets.
Okay.
And so we do have those options.
And can they reach out through Grand Companions, or is that a separate?
They can reach out through Grand Companions. It is separate.
Okay.
But it's 4T Pet Sitting
Okay.
is our email at gmail.com.
Great.
But yeah, you can always call Grand Companions. And at the end of the day, I don't want to just sell what I'm doing. Grand Companions can connect you with a lot are needs when it comes
Right.
to any sort of pet situation.
And I think that's important, because sometimes, and maybe they can help, maybe you can help find the vets that do have openings.
Exactly.
Because I find that those are the two things, when I see anybody asking a question about animals, it's like, anybody know where I can get a pet sitter, and anyone know where I can get into a vet? Those are two pretty common questions I see
Yes.
a lot. So Grand Companions
And
can help with
groomers,
that.
again, our
Groomers, that's another one.
Yeah, our
yes.
big thing is that we're here to help keep people connected to their pets, like I said, in connecting at the end. And so you don't have to call us if you're just because you're looking for a pet. You
Right.
can also call us because you are looking for resources that you want to help care for your pet better. And
Yeah.
it can be anything, like you need help on house training, and
Yes.
or you just need help. They seem to have a little bit of anxiety. We're not going to solve your problems,
Right.
but we will try to connect you with things that may.
You mentioned resources. I know that this costs a lot of money, I'm sure, to do what you do.
Yes.
So I'm sure you are always fundraising. That's another way you can help. So say you can't take another pet into your home right now, and you're like me, and that the house is full, and you have your animals, and you can't, but you still have a heart for it and a passion for it. You can give money. It's
Yes.
Yes.
I always say
Money
like,
is always gladly accepted.
it's fine if you don't take a pet. We'll definitely take your money. And so, yeah, donations are huge. It's the foundation of everything we do. We do have grants and we do have foundations that help us, but I will say the personal donations and that $20 a month or $20 a year or that one-time $20 does add up. And that's where most of our financial abilities come from in keeping lights on. And we talk about this all the time. It's not, we don't want just the basic of having a pet in a kennel and they're being fed. And sometimes you have to go that route. There are rescues that do what they have to do to care and keep that pet alive. But the capacity for care for these pets is really important because we are trying to honor them when they've gone through something hard. We're trying to honor the person that's found it, found this pet, and then we're also trying to honor its future adopter and caring for it the best way possible. And so donations are vital in making that happen.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier, you can tell you're passionate about what you do. What is it that you love about your job?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is impact is everything to me. And I think because of how Laura has started this foundation and our staff has really bought in and added to it, it's so detailed and so specific in everything we do. The impact is immense and beyond what I can probably even see. And it's exciting for me to see all of this and know there's even more happening that I don't know.
Okay. I love that. I think that's amazing because impact, that's what it's about when you can help others, and especially those that can't help themselves.
Yes.
That's what George Bush said that, right? Right, Al? Yeah, that's one of his favorite quotes is help people that can't help themselves. We're going to add in there, or pets. Sorry, George, I just changed your quote up a little bit. Okay, we have, this is our question of the day. And so you get to pull out of the magic bowl here, Nash. You're just going to pull it out, answer the question. I have no idea what it's going to say. Which one did you get?
What is one skill you wish you could learn and why?
Ah, okay. Good question.
So I've been very deep this whole time. I'm going to be kind of fluffy this time.
Fluff away. I like both.
Really want to do a back tuck.
Oh, you're kidding. I could teach you that.
Really?
I was a gymnast. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's all about spotting. Get your arms up in the air, spot something up high, and then rotate.
And then
just go for it. Do it on trampoline first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And get someone to spot you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super. Well,
that's
you see,
it.
my dreams are also coming
See?
true.
That's awesome. I'm so glad I can help you with that. But get someone more skilled than me just telling you what to do there. But that's an awesome dream. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a skill. You can do it.
Right.
You can do it at any age. I think no matter what whatever the big dream is, the small dream, the big skill, you can do it. Yeah. But just get on trampoline. That's my biggest gymnast advice for you. Yeah. But that's awesome. Okay, you're a personal trainer now. Share your best personal trainer advice with me because I want to be buffed. So
my biggest thing is that fitness helps keep you healthy.
Yes.
Mobility keeps you young. And so stretching and yoga, like, don't get me wrong, we need to get our heart rates up and do these other things.
Cardio's good.
Yes,
right.
And lifting heavy things are important, but being able to be mobile, fall down, get back up, have your joints be in weird places, trip over something, that's what keeps us young, because you see a baby and their mobility and the way they can squat and grab things.
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
I know.
Yeah.
And if we just kept it, we wouldn't have to worry about it.
I love that.
And so, yeah, mobility, I'm all about mobility.
Okay,
mobility.
so work on that. There's your fitness tip for the day.
Yes.
All right, we do something called favorite things. Tell us a fun fact about you before we jump into favorite things that we would not see on your bio.
So I won the Best Actor in Texas.
Oh, very cool.
It's just,
how does one become Best Actor in Texas?
Matthew McConaughey has to pass the torch, and then
Wait, did he actually give you the award?
No.
Just checking.
I did one act play,
okay.
And so we won state in the last the last event you can do, and I won Best Actor at state.
That's
and
great.
So I was in my division. I was the Best Actor.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is a cool, fun fact about you, Nash.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, tell me your favorite place to eat in West Texas. And it could be anywhere. Alpine. We love our friends in Alpine. Where's that we eat? The, I'm asking my husband.
Spicewood?
La Casita?
Oh, La Casita.
Yeah.
That one is kind of a hidden gem.
It is,
for
right?
sure.
But tell us your favorite.
I would say right now, I have two.
Okay.
I like the Gauge in Marathon.
Yes,
Just because
so
it's
good.
classic. I think it's a true sense. It's been there forever. And their quality is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes it gets lost in the mix because everybody's in Alpine.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
It's worth getting to.
Yes.
The second one would be, it's so consistent and it's really amazing. Spicewood.
Okay.
It's in Alpine.
Okay.
They're connected to the Quarter Circle 7 Hotel.
Okay. I don't think we've been there.
And so it's as you're heading out towards Marfa, it's on the left. They're really expanding and doing cool things. That family in having the hotel and having Airbnbs, and then that the restaurant's just solid. You can go
Awesome.
there for lunch, or if you want to have a nice fancy meal,
Okay.
or if you're coming from day working on one of the ranches, go in there. It's pretty. It's whatever you want it to be.
Awesome.
And again, the food's pretty solid.
Very cool. Favorite coffee shop? Let's stick with the Alpine area. And if you have not been to Alpine, you need to go. That Big Bend area is so beautiful. It really
Yes.
is. Go to Alpine, stay there a couple of days, go down to Big Bend, go to Terlingua, go to Lajitas. I mean, you can really get to see some beautiful parts of Texas there.
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to do everything in a weekend or even 2 weeks because we talked about it before. Marfa, Marathon, Fort Davis, Alpine, Terlingua, they're all so different and have their own things to offer. And that's not
Yes.
even hitting the parks yet.
Yeah.
And so, coffee shop, though, I do want to say I do miss Higher Grounds here.
I know. It was a great coffee shop.
really
But
sad
try the
when-
new one. There's a new one in there.
I saw that
Yes, give them.
it's popped
I
up.
have not been in yet, but give them a try.
But in Alpine, I'm going to hit a couple. Cedar is cool.
Okay.
Very different vibe. All three, and I think businesses in Alpine do a good job of this. Even if they're doing the same thing, they try to mix it up, and everything's a little different. So Cedar is awesome. Vice is brand new. I've been in there a couple times. It's family owned. They're super friendly. And then Joe's Coffee, Joe's Crow. Yep, Joe
Okay.
Crow Coffee
Joe Crow
is a like a coffee food truck
Okay.
as you're heading towards Marfa. Also, it's right behind the American Legion,
Okay.
and it's really good coffee. And you're just like, it's a coffee food truck,
Okay.
but just grab a great cup of coffee.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Favorite movie? Since you're an actor, this should be interesting to see which one's your favorite.
Gosh, that's a loaded question.
It's hard, huh?
Yeah. I mean, growing up, like, as a kid in high school, for whatever reason, and this is so cliche, like, I loved The Patriot
Okay.
with
Mel Gibson?
Mel Gibson, yes. But I would say, like, recently, just because I loved this book, and it was like a TV movie, I think, even, Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, yeah. I
It's
remember
my
that.
favorite book, and also like I thought they did a decent job with the movie. But are you watching any of the Oscar nominees?
I have a list. I'm trying to think if I watched one. The Amelia one. I saw that one.
Okay,
Yes, we saw that one. I'm trying to think what else. The one with Demi Moore is on my list, but haven't seen it yet. Substance.
Okay,
Have you
I've not
it?
seen that one.
Okay.
No.
Which one's?
So I watched and people thought it was super weird, but I don't know. I guess because I'm Catholic, the Conclave movie didn't seem that crazy to me.
Okay.
It was very interesting, 100%.
Okay.
But
we haven't seen it. We'll have to watch it.
people talked about it being like this crazy odd thing, and everything seemed like things I see in the Catholic. I don't know.
Okay.
Didn't see.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Final question. Favorite life hack? Something that makes your life a little easier.
Oh, okay. So we have my parents and I raise goats.
Another fun fact about Nash.
And so
We're learning a lot today, Nash.
this goat
You
got
raise goats?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And like meat goats. And so
Okay.
this goat got away from its mom, and my wife and I were out caring for my parents' ranch, and it was cold, and it was either maybe mom comes back or maybe she doesn't, and so we took her in. She didn't go back to mom, and we couldn't find. I think also when they get your scent, because she did spend the whole night with us. And so we have a baby goat right now that we're raising, and she's gotten through the hard part. But like these Family Dollar diapers are life-changing.
There you go.
And that life hack
you have
totally
a goat,
changed.
Family Dollar.
And just so you know, they can't control their bowels, but they can control peeing.
Okay.
So like they'll just poop everywhere.
Yeah.
But they can control where they pee at least.
So get the diapers and you're
Diapers
good to go.
for the poop, and
There
you're
you
set.
go. All right. And there you go. Now we know Nash a little better. Thanks for playing Favorite Things.
Yes.
Is there anything in conclusion today that we didn't get to talk about that you were hoping we would talk about Grand Companions, goats, life's living history for anything?
Yeah, I can go all over the place.
Yeah, anything. Acting. That's so cool. Are you watching Landman?
Yeah, I actually am.
Okay, good.
It's actually decent. I will say, like, I was thinking about this last night before we were coming together. West Texas is really cool, and I think you've had some neat people talk about the neat things that make us us, but we sometimes get lost in, like, it's bad to think that being stuck in our ways, right? Like, it's just the way it's always been. You need to accept it. I think that thought comes from a good place because there are some really summer mummers you look at. There are like programs here that have lasted 50, 75 years that don't last like that in other places I've been in the world.
That's true.
And it's because we really have pride in it. Sometimes that pride goes too far and we're not open to changing, or at least like building upon the foundation that we have.
Be willing to change with the times.
Yes, and I think we talked about it in the beginning when I talked about identity. You can keep your foundation and make it better. It is okay to fix things, but it is also okay to be prideful and be like, this is awesome. It's been like this, like for as long as it has.
Right.
And so I don't know. That was just like
A thought in your head.
I thought about it all night, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad you got it off your chest
Yes.
today, Nash. Thank you so
Okay.
much. I've so enjoyed getting to know you better
Good.
and getting to know more about Grand Companions, because that's what this podcast is about. We have so many cool people doing cool things, doing great things in our community, for our community. And until we get to meet someone like you, we don't know what you're doing, right?
Yep.
And so thank you for sharing your gifts here in West Texas and Alpine. Go see him in Alpine. We also will encourage you find a pet, you want to welcome a pet into your home, you want to help any way you can, monetarily or by bringing a pet into your house, call Grand Companions today or look them up online. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you so much.
Thank
This
you
was
so
fun.
much. Cool.
This was fun. We appreciate you sharing your time with us, especially all you four-legged friend lovers out there. We know you're out there. Man, people love their pets, right? In West Texas, we used to joke in the newsroom, people like pets more than people sometimes. And so we hope that you have learned something today and will pass this on to a pet lover that you know. Also, thank you to our sponsors. Big shout out to Rig ID Workwear, Omni Midland Hotel, the Laughlin Hotel, also to Midland Cap Company and joincapclub.com. Just support local wherever you are at, and a special thanks to everyone here in West Texas. Don't forget my mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. Thanks for joining us. You make it a great day.